Hey there, sexy souls. How are you all doing? Woo-hoo. I believe, yeah, let me get my stuff. Oh, how's everybody doing? Happy hump day. We're going into, sorry, I just realized I set my cup in something and I had crumbs. I don't know where the crumbs came from, but I've got my coffee. It's Coffee on Tarot. Coffee and Tarot is where we decide to sit down with Spirit, and Spirit gets to say what Spirit wants to say. There's no parameters, there's no limitations, there's no expectations, there's no nothing. Like, Spirit gets to go where it wants to go with this, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. Go ahead and grab you a cup. We sometimes need to just settle in because, you know, it'll be a minute. So get your matcha, get your lemon water, your hot toddy, your coffee, whatever you want, and settle in. Now, as a friendly reminder, just going to say that you are the sovereign being over your life, which means you get to use your own discernment as to if, when, how, where, why any of these messages might apply. So let's say it together now. We don't Cinderella this shit to make a fit. Now, I'm about to ring the bell. Go ahead and plug your ears or... Hold on. Good. Okay, that's my homemade, not homemade. I didn't make it. Somebody else handmade it. All right, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna enjoy my coffee. I almost spilled it. All right, let's go ahead and dig in. For somebody out there, it feels as if somebody has re-solidified their spirit team. So either there had been a disconnect, like, you know, who or what is a part of your spiritual team doesn't always necessarily stay the same. Some do, and some change out, right? I feel like something was in flux for a period of time. And even ones that are still present, it kind of feels like they may have backed off and now they're back in solidly. I know that sounds really weird. That's a woo-woo thing for somebody out there. And so it feels as if it's like your spiritual team is definitive now. There were some things that were in flux for some time. And it may have been where it was necessary for you to work with or exchange with other energies for a period of time, and you are back on track. I don't want to say on track because like that wants to come out of my mouth, but it's kind of like, but that's not. It's not like you're off track, although you might have been a little bit. That there might have been some discord amongst you and stuff like that for some. But I just feel like you are 100% aware of who is a part of your spiritual team, and it's almost like you've ordained it, you have, or your stamp of approval is on it, the relationship with your spiritual team feels more solid, just something has really solidified with them and who is on it, okay? So that is for someone. Ooh, okay, so we're gonna we're gonna use the Fallen Angel Oracle first. Da, 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 da. Woo! You know, people who know me know I've been doing half calf. This morning, I'm out with my half calf and I went with my Café Bustelo. Now, it's not as good as it was way back in the day, but it still kicks my butt. I'll tell you that much. I'm like, woohoo! With it a little bit. That's some potent stuff right there. As far as the caffeine levels go. It still does not compare. I don't know why I'm going on this rant, but it still does not compare to the time where I went to my sister's. I got a whole funny story for you. And I don't know why I'm going this route, but you're going to love it. So I was at my sister's and I wanted to have some coffee, and have I told this before? I don't know. My nephew, I'm like, where is it at? You know, like, cause she has everything kind of like hidden, but out in plain sight in her kitchen. And so he shows me, I'm like, and he's like, right here. And I open it up like, oh, perfect, you know. Now, I want you to know that, so my nephew has autism. He definitely is high functioning with it, but it, at times, like, you know, him thinking socially what might be appropriate is not always, he answered my question. That was the only thing I asked. And so therefore he didn't go any further with anything, right? Later that day, we're all having fun. We're out doing stuff. We're exploring areas that you know, where my sister lives and everything. And I come down with a sweat and I realize that I need to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, what is going on? What is happening to me? And it got to the point where I was like, if I don't find one, bad things are going to happen. And I found a gas station and I was like, you know, I was heading in and I thought, if this doesn't have a bathroom that's available, I don't think I'm gonna make it back out. So I make it to the bathroom. By the grace of God or whatever fucking entity decided to have compassion on me at that point. Because I exorcised some demons that day, I will tell you that much. Come back out. I mean, just flabbergasted at, I don't know where it came from. I wasn't sick. I didn't understand. And then my illustrious sister, when we meet back up, right? Because we were traveling to another location, and she talks about, just in passing, how she drinks double the caffeine. And in a moment of clarity, and this might be where there's a moment of clarity probably there. That's what it is. A moment of clarity, something that happened made perfect fucking sense. My nephew did not go, oh, by the way, this coffee will make you shit your brains out. Okay? And anything else up in there, you will exorcise the demons. It is double the caffeine. I didn't ask any other questions about it. He didn't feel the need to volunteer. I said, where's the coffee? He goes, there it is. I was like, and I looked at him, I was like, you couldn't tell me? And he starts laughing. He's like, I didn't know. I was like, I didn't think to. And my sister is dying laughing. And I'm thinking, this is the reason why? So now I know why I had to tell that story. Because something, you're about to figure it out. You're about to figure some shit out. And I feel as if you want to be like, and you couldn't have told me. I don't know if this is to spirit. I don't know. You know, but it's like, and I feel like the fact that I used exorcised some demons, I feel like somebody has, maybe that's, okay. So the idea of your spiritual team being solid now and things like being kind of pulled apart. Like I feel as if there was a disconnect between you and certain ones and something was interfering, I will say. And I think at this point, either with this reading or here recently, you're going to be like, oh, that's why X, Y, and Z. Because somebody has just come to the realization that there was something, I want to say something parading around as maybe one of your spiritual team members, or even they're giving me your higher self. If you felt like you have been angry at your higher self, that was not your higher self. I'm getting somebody who is feeling like there's my human aspect, my soul, and then my higher self. I have had that before. I've talked about way back, maybe 2 years ago. Anyways, I have too many videos on this channel for me to remember when, what, where, why. Anywho, I understand this in a roundabout way, right? So I feel as if something was parading around as, oh my God, Spirit's getting dramatic. Or maybe that's you. I don't know. I heard oversoul. I'm like, isn't that, like it was controlling the situation. And I feel like you as a human, you were angry, but it wasn't, it was something parading around. So there was something that happened. Okay, so now I'm trying to figure out why you feel like, why couldn't you say something to me? Because I mean, if this thing was parading around as something, I feel like the message was trying to come through. But whatever this energy entity was that came in, it played a huge, it's like chess. I feel like it started to move things around on you and push like it got in between you and your spiritual team. And this would have, it's like being connected but not. And what I don't know why I feel like you thought you were conversing with your higher self, or whatever, but it wasn't. There's just this disconnect, almost like all three aspects just got disjointed, got pulled apart. Like they're showing me like Legos, you know, or where they click together and it's like something got pulled apart. So it's like you could identify each aspect individually, but nothing was connected. So you couldn't deter, I don't know, something really. And what I want to say is, I feel as if you knew, okay, I'm fucking channeling at this point. You knew there were energies and entities around you that did not belong. And I want to say that might have led to your I feel like somebody disconnected from their spiritual team because they felt like somebody on their spiritual team was infiltrated, but it was really this thing got smart and pretended to be you and got between you and your spirit team. Bitch. Motherfucking bitch. Oh. So, okay, so let's go back to the coffee story. Like the idea of something happened that exorcised the demons, and only after that fact did you come into the understanding. And you may have asked, well, why didn't you tell me? And they're telling you now. It's not that they weren't trying to tell you. There was something severely interfering. And they can only do things on their side to try and combat this. You are still a major factor. Okay? In your ability to receive. And if you felt like there was something in your spiritual team, you may have been hesitant. Like it was difficult because it's like you couldn't pinpoint. You were looking in the wrong direction. And you picked up on there was something that shouldn't be around you that was, but you couldn't figure out where it was. I have had a similar, we'll call it, situation. Okay, so alrighty then. So now that these, and again, it's a saying, I don't, you know, these, like they're calling them void entities. Like like how a black hole, like just absorbs things and things disappear. Like that's what they're acting like. It's like a void kind of entity that has the power to, pretty powerful one. And I don't really know, you know, sometimes we think that like, I get somebody feeling like, oh, who am I for, like, why would something like that come into my energetic field? Who am I? I'm not nobody. And it's like the rhyme or reason, like, I think that's the wrong take, right? I mean, these things are not, you are exceptionally powerful, for one. But these things will go after, but you thinking you're not as powerful in your life as you truly are, is exactly why these things show up, because they're not going to go toe to toe with something that can match it, right? It's going to go for something where the light has been dimmed a bit. So I would say prior to this thing showing up, you had gone through some events that dimmed your light, which, honest to goodness gracious, could be the freaking pandemic alone. Just did a number on people. It, you know, and so like if you were, you know, it could have been the passing of a loved one. It could have been, you know, like some kind of an upheaval in life where you were, you know, like things happening. Like, there's a million things that could have, whatever got you to where you felt slightly weakened. Does that make sense? And distracted, they said. They just said distracted. So, and people like people who have anything, people who dabble, who love to mess with those kind of energies. I think that, so a void entity, this is so woo-woo, guys. I've already lost the people who are like, oh. Void entities frequently will connect with other beings, entities, and it's kind of like a contract, if you will, where any entity that helps assist this void entity to find these things, right? Find these people, these, so man, guys, this is, yeah. Okay. Anywho, they get some of that energy. So they get to, it's like they get to feed off of it. And there are people who like to attach themselves to these feeders, I would call it. I would call them slightly bit different than like energy vampires. Because to me, an energy vampire kind of tends to sip on you for a long, but like these void black hole entity kind of situations, they devour, right? Like that's their intent, is to devour. And so, but people, like, it's almost like they find and attach to people, places, things, via a living being or an energy or entity, that can direct them, to these things. And so it's like this symbiotic relationship where, one gets to get a little bit, and just a little bit of the energy that these void entities can suck up, is enough for them to, it's like adding to their power. It's like adding to their energy. It's adding to their influence and things like that, right? If at any point, okay, these other little energies and entities that kind of like, it's like they owe it to. The problem is that if they do not connect these void entities to something that they can feed on, guys, please understand we're talking etherically, right? Okay. Then they will become the energy source. Because these void entities will take back all that they've ever given them and then some. So, that being said, we've just had a whole woo-woo lesson. Let me check to see what time it is so I can put it down. Oh my God, 19 minutes. So that people know, I mean, I feel as if that's kind of pertinent to the reading. People may want to see that. But yeah, so anyways, let's move along. There's something, and I don't really know if it matters, and at some point I think that you're going to come to terms with and understand what happened that finally allowed you, right? I think that there's a combination. They're saying that where you start to pick up on enough of the downloads, and it's like you had to have enough of the little pieces of information to go, oh, wait a minute, and to notice that there was something not right, and you also had to manage your, I think that there was a level of chaos within you, within your energetic field, and you had to work on that in order to be able to piece certain things together. And then there was like a pause, like, I don't know, there's this thing, but whatever the catalyst was, for me, it was double caffeine. There was a catalyst that you were completely, you consumed, like there's something that you absorbed or brought into your energetic field that was the catalyst to like expunging this or exercising this demon. And you are just now coming into an understanding of what just occurred. So maybe we get to find out what happened that was the catalyst. Because again, in my story, my very real story, did not know that I had consumed this or allowed it to come in, or that I picked up on something. You know what I mean? That could have been that you finally picked up on something that was like key to unraveling something. And so, yeah. True life story for me. Just saying. I had no clue there was such a thing as, other than like the energy drinks. I was like, why? Who needs, first off, who needs battery acid for a freaking coffee? Can I please? I thought Cafe Bustelo was kicking butt and taking names, but good God, I don't know what. I'm like, Amanda, seriously, girlfriend, like, how does her, I want to know how her butthole survives that shit all the time. Anybody who drinks that shit want to share? Because what the fuck? It was, yeah. Vigilance. Ooh. Vigilance. Your vigilance to figure it out helped you to see the illusion. It helped you to see the danger, and that brought up the change. I want to know more. This is some kind of... Okay, look, you are the one. Okay. Celebration. Moderation, wisdom, moderation. That's the key. 13, number of the death card in the tarot deck. The moderation had something to bringing something to an end and opening you back up to something else. We'll find out what you had to have moderation in. There was a level of wisdom that was able to come in that led to this transformation, and now this celebration. Because when I say, it's almost as if your spiritual team being on full force is putting you squarely back in your power. Like, I feel as if you, if not in this moment or shortly after, like very near future, you're going to feel almost as, like, yeah, it is. And they like take away the almost, as powerful as you were prior to this thing showing up. Maybe even prior to the event. Like, because remember I said there was something that weakened you before this thing came in. And we're going to find out about that little fucker that brought this thing to you. Because either somebody had it out for you, or something led that little one, that smaller energy. It could be a person. It could be an entity. But you got on its radar somehow, and we're gonna find that fucking shit out as well. So we're about to get all kinds of good shit. So if you haven't already gotten your cup, you better settle in. Okay. But first, let's find out what this moderation is, and then we'll go into who that little shithead was. Okay. All right. Sorry, I was getting something from Spirit. Let's move. Okay, moderation. This was the moderation here was the version of me consuming that coffee without knowing it. I didn't know it was going to be the catalyst. So what do you mean by moderation? Let's go ahead and... I'm feeling Sun Night Tarot. Talk to me about moderation. They keep saying the word something stimulated something, but that seems counter to moderation. Moderation is almost like pulling back and pacing oneself, and that might have been the problem. What is this moderation? Oh, hold on. So they're saying, I was hearing you exorcised a demon, and then they're saying extinguished. Like this thing. Oh. Okay, so they're saying a black hole can collapse in on itself. Like it devours itself. What? This black hole entity ended up devouring itself? And took things along with it. Okay. Okay, what is the fucking moderation? This had some, I feel as if they said it had real world implications. Page of Cups. Oh. Whoever this is, you have felt unadulterated rage. Look at the way that she is holding this cup. If you felt disconnected from your intuition during this process, like, again, that was the idea. Like I felt that with like feeling disjointed. Thank you. Disjointed from your spiritual team, that it was like hit or miss. Your intuition was hit or miss. And that was almost, that was intentional, because you see how there's a light within that, and there's this, look at all this emotion. Look at all of this emotion. I just get the idea that maybe this thing or anything attached to it couldn't know that you were receiving intuitive hits. So it had to come in pieces. Until you see how there's two swords. These two swords are facing up, which means truth, clarity, understanding. This one sword, which is piercing your heart, is the lie. Now, I feel as if saying at some point all three swords are pointing down, and it's like little bits of truth had to be revealed until you could spot and identify the lie. It's like they were feeding you little bits and pieces of the truth until you had enough where you could see the one lie. The lie that was creating this anguish for you. You came to the conclusion, whoever I'm reading for, you came to the conclusion yourself that what you thought was your higher self was not your higher self. That something was taking over, that something was parading around as, and that you felt almost disconnected. Because I always say, like for me, let me just say this, you can believe otherwise. It's all semantics and things like that at times, you know, because it's just how we choose to word it. But like my soul is my higher self. It is the aspect of me still connected to the greater knowledge and understanding, to the etheric. And so I feel as if you looked at your higher self like it was a puppeteer that you had to answer to. That it didn't feel integrated, a part of you. And yet at times you may have felt punished and angry. You were very angry. And so they had to piecemeal the truth to you. Until I feel as if it's like, so that it could sink in deep. That's where the moderation comes in. That's what that was. That I have to hand feed little bits and pieces and crumbs to you until you can come to this conclusion. Because it had to come from within. You had to be the one to see it, not be told it. Because you lacked trust. So you had to come to this revelation, into this wisdom. And it's like from the inside out, there's this transformation that occurred. Okay. I want to know about how did this thing find you? How did it come in? Because we know you there was something. And but something led it to you. Something led it to you because something benefited, someone, blah, 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 benefited from this thing being in your life. And I have talked about things like this in some of my more private conversations and stuff, private groups and whatnot. Okay. It's just time for, sorry, they already are like pushing me to keep going and showing me like, do this, and I'm like, okay, so maybe it's not the time. So what brought this thing to you? How did it make its way to you and into your life? And then we will move into so what does that mean for right now that this thing has, it's like it absorbed itself, but it took some things with it. So I don't fear it. I feel that whatever led this thing to you is now devoid of any and all power. They said even personal power. If it's a person, it will be reflected in their life. Okay. So what led this thing? is something that you felt defensive against, or someone you've had to defend yourself against, someone or something you felt like you had to defend yourself against, protect yourself against. But may have been connected with things that you once loved, or that you felt like you should love. Eight of Cups is staring at things that once were fulfilling or once meant something to you. Something you were tangled up in. See how this turtle is tangled up? Hold on, they're giving me something here. Okay, what does that mean? That says EFPS. I don't know what that fucking means. Hold on, let me find out. We're Googling shit. EFPS. Sorry guys, I'm trying to find out. Wow. You were caught up in, now see, this is like a fishing net. And EFPS is exempted fishing permits. Oh, Spirit, the way that you speak to me. Okay. So the EFPs, an EFP is a permit issued by a particular regional office that authorizes a fishing vessel to conduct fishing activities that would otherwise be prohibited. Something gave permission. You got caught up in something that otherwise would have been prohibited. Oh, fucking, okay, come on, Spirit. What the fuck? Oh, Jesus. Oh, shit. Okay. What? Okay. In any other world, this would not have been okay. In any other scenario, in any other, because you see this, like, what? How did this thing get connected to you? Because you were having to fight against something that otherwise would have never been okay. You were having to fight against a person or an institution or a situation. It's like in any other place or any other scenario, in any other world, this would not be permitted. But something, you're having to fight against something that ended up happening, and it left you fighting. It left you depleted. It left you like being emotionally bankrupt and mentally entrapped. It emotionally bankrupted you and mentally trapped. Something got through that shouldn't have gotten through. Well, okay, now we're going to find out. Let's talk about. You better answer. No. The Eight of Cups, please. Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. Something was authorized that would never be under other circumstances. if I'm trying to think, how did this thing get to you? You were caught up in some kind of a battle. Maybe it's that's how this thing got through. In any other situation, which we knew you went through something. It's giving like I had to like going through something that expended you emotionally and kept you mentally locked up. Well, what? But something brought it in. It wasn't just the fact that you were, this thing doesn't operate alone, right? This thing, like you're in the prime spot, but like how did it find you? Who or what brought this in? Because something brought it in. And it wasn't, I feel as if this is something, I don't know how that one was up. Knight of Swords. None of this feels right. Sorry, I be dropping shit. I'm not leaving until I understand this Eight of Cups, Spirit. There was a change that you went through that isolated you. You got isolated. You got isolated. This doesn't have to do with your spiritual team. You got isolated in the physical. Something, you either separated from something or someone, and something isolated you. There was a change that isolated you. Like no help, no assistance, no nothing. There's a change in your past. You could have moved away from family. You could have moved away from community. You could have broke free from something. I feel like something or someone. When you broke free and you were isolated, if it was an entity, that's how it got in. If it was a person guiding it in, then I feel like they were pissed that you broke free from something, that you went your own way, that you made such a drastic, there was a drastic change, and you decided to go your own way. The Hermit isn't influenced by anything or anyone. So let's get back to why is the EFPS pertinent in this situation? Because I'm the Six of Cups. It's history. There's a change in your past. A change in your past. You broke free. You broke free from someone or something, and it brought attention to you. Like, it brought attention to you. Okay, hold on. I feel like this, you see this net? I feel like I'm peeling things apart. It's like detangling a fucking necklace is what it feels like to me. But I'm in the thick of it, and I'm going to fucking figure it out. So, Eight of Cups, EFPS. It's something that normally would not be allowed. Clarify that for me. This could be, whatever this separation was, it entailed heartbreak, either on your side or on somebody else's side. And what I want to say is this change, if it was a change that ended up hurting you, and it could have come about because of a relationship, it could have come about, it may have been something that, like, you started fighting something. And this could be, you started, it turned you into this defensive, on guard, putting walls up, ready to defend yourself, ready to fight kind of energy. But it's like a self-preservation type of energy. So this could be divorce, right? This could be separating from family. This could be separating from like most toxic fucking work environment that decided it was gonna say something like, you know, give you bad reviews and shit. It could be, and in this, like, it was a very quick, something was, it was a very impulsive, let me show you what I'm looking at. Temperance, which is definitely a balanced energy, feeling reciprocal, feeling like there's this homeostasis, right? With something that's meant for you. This could be either a relationship or just something that you are connected with, that's in alignment with you, that was meant to come to fruition. This could be an unrealized love. This could be an unrealized dream, an unrealized, like, this was something that was meant for you, and something out of nowhere happened. Knight of Wands. It's like, I feel like either you, it's either you felt blindsided or someone else felt blindsided and betrayed. That's the energy. And there was, as a result, it caused a change that made you go your own way. There was a change involved in this. So maybe you left something to go your own way and it pissed another energy off, or you feel like something that was meant for you, there was some kind of unexpected, impulsive, out of nowhere change that it disrupted this homeostasis, this feeling of being in alignment. It created change in your mind that made you defensive and untrusting. Something got through. Something interfered. What interfered? We have the Star, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Strength card. It left you blind. Something obstructed your view. Changed how you were seeing something. But I still don't understand. Like for some of you, this is what I'm getting. For some of you, this entity energy found an opportunity. Like there was such a betrayal energy, whether, again, I feel this on both sides. Either you left and went your own way and that made somebody else feel utterly betrayed. Or something something changed on a dime unexpectedly about something that you felt in alignment with, something that was meant to come into your reality. Something changed out of nowhere and you felt blindsided. And whatever that is, either way, either you had to defend it, you knew that that person was pissed and you could, again, you had to defend yourself, or you automatically went into defense mode, protective mode, because you were blindsided. Somebody here, you or somebody else, felt blindsided. But the end result was you going into a very protective energy. You feeling on edge. You feeling like I need to, like a fighting stance, right? You went into a fighting stance. Enter in this void energy or entity. And it kept you, it's like, this is normally something that wouldn't be able to make it in. Just like this fishing thing, normally it's something that's not allowed. It's not allowed. It normally wouldn't have the authority to do this. And it robbed you of your emotional capacity and kept you mentally entrapped. It obstructed your because they keep bringing me North Star. The North Star leads you home. But this is the amount of strength to continue to be the Queen of Pentacles. So whatever this moment that happened, you went your own way, and that change, again, that was a change in the past. Something about that change is what led this to come in. I want to know about I'm going to grab a different deck. I want to know about the person that they felt jilted. They felt that this did something to them, and because I feel like a conjuring, like I sold my soul kind of energy just to get back at you, just to, like, you're going to pay for this kind of situation. And I want to know about that one. It's almost, because like I said, this thing is taking things with it. This thing is taking some things with it. Okay. Secret Tarot. And so I want to know. Like, you're going to pay is what I heard. You're going to pay. It's like you made an enemy of somebody with this change by going your own way. And it puts you, you knew, like, you got into a very defensive stance. You had to defend yourself. Like you were ready to fight. For somebody, I feel like something was allowed by the courts that should not have been allowed. I can't help it. Like, because I can't get over the authority figure. Letting something happen. This could be something within your environment. Now, this is something that I have had experience with. Like, a landlord that will not fix something. And so therefore it created environmental issues. Back when I was pregnant with my 15-year-old, I had, and I've told the stories about where I seem to attract water to me, but there was an apartment complex where pipes broke at least 4 separate times, and water kept coming into from different angles, from all around me, like the main broke in one area, somebody's washing machine on the other side of me, and so it kept flooding into my area, and we ended up having black mold because of it. And so it's kind of like they should have taken responsibility. It shouldn't have been allowed, but that authority figure, you know what I mean? Like there was no checks and balances to enforce that the landlord did something about it, right? And so it's kind of like things that should not have been approved or should have been okay made it, you know what I'm saying? So it's like an authority figure that was like, that's fine. Like, I don't understand, but it's kind of like that. Like, that's what it reminds me of. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you exerted yourself in some capacity. You stood up, because the Knight of Swords is also like cutting shit out that's not right. He wields the sword of justice, right? And he's willing to wield that. And it's like you took things upon yourself. There's just something there. Like there's an authority figure. I can't get away from that. So again, it's like a court that allowed something that shouldn't have fucking been permissible, right? Like that gave somebody more leverage than they should have over you or your circumstances, or a decision that has allowed something to be that shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Like like your environment, and from there, that allowed something to come in. Because if you're weakened physically, things can come in, right? Like if there's health issues because of where you live or something, and things like black mold, like I had to call the health department and shit, and even they didn't do much. But I even like started like contacting the AG, like all kinds of stuff. Like but nobody would really enforce anything. And what ended up happening is I had to leave the place. But in the meantime, like black mold can create havoc for people, emotionally and mentally. And there's just something very abrupt. So let's okay, so I had to say that because I kept getting like there was an authority figure that let something slide to some degree. And this may have happened right around the time you decided to either get out on your own. It's kind of like, a kid who decides to move out for the first time, and like you asserted your independence to some degree from someone or something, and something ended up happening that, there was a major change going on in your life, and then to have this, either somebody is upset with you because of it and some shit ensued, and it created a dynamic where it's like, something was able to come in, or this like I fucking feel somebody attached to like getting pissed and like a retaliatory kind of energy. Like they sold their soul type of situation to make sure you paid for something. And I can't help that. I can't get away from there is someone for someone like that. Now, this is where we get into the nitty gritty. So like when I say all these different scenarios, I'm being dead serious. You didn't have a lot of energy. Like something happened. It got you in such a fight mode that, like the King of Cups, he's really discerning about where he puts his energy, right? He's very protective of his cup. And in order to be able to maintain homeostasis and not get overburdened, you may have ended up in this Eight of Cups energy, right? Ooh, like you like you stopped fighting. Like you didn't have it, like you didn't feel like you had it within you to fight something. Because the 9 of Wands is I'm ready to go. Like I am, like this is beyond just exercising good personal boundaries. This is, I will at all cost take care of me. And then it's like succumbing to something. It's like being in a place where it's like, I only have so much. And so therefore, the 8 of Cups could be, I have to be really discerning about where I put my energy. I have to keep myself in a decent, well-tempered place. And so I have to make sure that I don't overextend or overexpend myself. But in that, you kind of got trapped. Okay, tell me about the person that had something to do with. We have the High Priestess with the 6 of Cups. Again, like there was something known. And then the Page of Cups. It's like they didn't want something good coming in for you, because that's what I'm getting. It's the idea of like there's this connection, this knowing of something really good that was supposed to come in, and that would turn to something more. And I feel like they knew it would happen quickly for you. Lord of mercy, guys. Okay, hold on. Who is this person? There's a very masculine energy attached to this. There's like an innate knowing that something good was going to come to you. How is this person connected to the one I'm reading for? Okay. This was somebody that was that you have battled with before, that feels left out. Again, I'm getting either an ex-lover or a family member, because they're the ones that put you into the 9 of Wands. If this is a person that had like some kind of vendetta, like that had some kind of, you know what I'm saying? I want to say that they are the ones that led, which tells me they are the ones that are attached to. And that they are the ones that will experience the ramifications of this thing no longer having its supply and it collapsing in on itself. Like whatever, like this individual is connected energetically. Like it's like a soul contract in a way. So, you know what I'm saying? Like there's this tether to it. And so if it collapses in on itself, it's going to take it with them. It's going to take them with it. So there's this thing where it's like this, again, you may have left a person, a family member, an ex, and they, yeah, you may have left this person in one way or the other. Again, could be family member and you moved on. Could be, it could be, I don't know why I'm getting this. Like this individual could have been the one that passed and that created difficulties for others. And then when you left, like that was an issue. but you battled with them. This is not somebody that it's like you got history. That's also why the Six of Cups keep coming up. You got fucking history with this person. You do. And I feel as if it's like they laid claim to you in some capacity. Like, how fucking dare you go in a different direction is what I want to say. How, like, they really felt just in their rage. The only thing that I can say, though, is there was something very intentional. Because the Knight of Wands is erratic, right? There we fucking go. That's the key. This person can switch up on a dime. That's who you know who it is. This person, erratic. That's what, erratic. They saw themselves as the victim. And if it's a woman that was in your life, somebody that identifies as a woman, they were masculine, toxic masculine, like it wasn't even funny. They couldn't stand losing control. Somebody couldn't stand losing control. The Emperor usually, he's seen as the authority. He's seen as the control. I'm also understanding this now. There's also a sense of authority. Remember I said where something that generally doesn't have authority is given authority, like something is allowed, conduct activities that would otherwise be prohibited. They were handed authority to some degree. You may have in the past kind of like let them be an influence they shouldn't have been. And when you took that back, you were already snarled up in their web of whatever it is, their net. And it's like they were pulling you back. The energy that there is a person on this in your life that is attached to how this came about, and golly, there's a similarity between this void entity and this individual. And I would say that this individual, you would also know them because many of the people, because since a void is like, it like sucks the life, like you will have noticed a lot of people connected with this individual either being utterly codependent on them, like they are because they're losing their energy and life force. They're dependent on the energy and life force of this individual. So like they're so codependent on them, like they don't seem to operate separate from this individual, or this individual, you'll see a lot of people around them, their lives go to shit. And I'm also getting that what you'll see, another way to identify this person is now that the thing is collapsing in on itself and it's pulling this individual with it, you're going to be seeing this person abandoned by a lot of the people that seemingly upheld them, or like was stuck to their teat. Like, you know, the codependent, like people are breaking free. And for those where, let's talk really quick, Spirit, about those where there isn't necessarily a particular person that this thing found its way in at. There isn't a particular person. There is, with a situation you felt defensive about. It was abrupt. It was blindsided. And it left you enraged and very defensive. How did this entity find them? How did it, when there's not a person attached that brought this void in and it's an energy, how did this energy find them? Can you Just some specificity on that, please. This is a lot, guys. There's the Eight of Cups again. They just said the promise, whew, my heart is fluttering, the promise of something more. Like it, okay, so you broke free. We had the underneath, remember we had the this one, the Knight of Swords. You broke free to go your own way. You were heading for your own truth, something that was in alignment with you. And whatever this energy seeks that out. It's like the crushing of a dream. The promise of something better, because you go from the Eight of Cups to the Nine of Cups. The promise of, there's something about that. Like they're showing me somebody who's diabetic, where if their insulin spikes really high, the higher the spike, the lower the dip, the lower the valley. And that's why it's one of the reasons you don't want your insulin to spike so much, because it starts going like this. It can plummet. And so the idea, the prospects of something amazing. So it's as if it seeks out those who have the promise of something great, something that's meant to come in alignment, the promise of something better. Because, and if they can interfere or intervene, the plummet is great. Like they're an easy target then. They become an easy target. So something that normally couldn't get through to you got through, because something does a really good job of obstructing, because the chaos and the emotions that come along with that make for an easy attachment. And I think that that's why there's a level of strength when you're following the star. You're the North Star home, because that's the guidance. The Queen of Pentacles takes a very balanced, neutral, practical, sensible approach to things. And it requires strength. And that would be why sometimes the attachment to that which you know is for you can also be detrimental to you, because it can be used against you. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. The promise of something more. Oof. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. That was a lot. That was a lot. Okay. I hope that this message found whoever it's meant for. I know that all these details, they're just going to do something for you in regards to this. It is either the recognition and acknowledgement of what's happening in this moment. You're like, oh, like it all finally comes together. or this information is so that it's not able to happen again, or to let you know that it can't happen again. Because whatever was parading around as something that it's not, it is no longer there. It's collapsing in on itself. It's taking things, people, whatever with it. You're going to see and notice that, and you're going to feel solidly connected to your spiritual team again. And it's like you're going to walk as such. This is like a look back. An explanation. All right, I hope this found who it's meant for. I hope you all have a fantastic and wonderful day. I just saw 1555 on the clock. So you all have a fantastic and wonderful day, and I will see you guys later this week.